You'll see that a little bit later. This is truly an extraordinary achievement that has been the fruit of, as Becca said, an extremely visionary board and also an extremely visionary development team that has worked with me, one of whom you'll hear from today. As I was pondering how to share with you the vision that has kept me up day and night for over a year now, and that we've been talking about on the board, and that has propelled all these efforts that you're going to see. My answer came in part last night when we were listening to the good pastor, and he taught us that we need to teach not just in word, but also in story and in song. Now, those of you who know me know I like both of those things a lot. And so I'm going to be sharing with you pictures and stories and a couple of songs and some guests, and certainly a lot of sneak preview to what we have done on the side to try to fill you guys with the vision of what we've created and what it can do for you, for your area, for your profession, for your clients, for the priesthood leaders in your area, and for others that your influence might touch. Okay, why is it not such? Oh, because I didn't turn it on. All right. There we go. We called this presentation AMCAP Online. How AMCAP's new internet presence can facilitate communication and participation of AMCAP's diverse worldwide membership as never before. We have on purpose created tools that are very much in the spirit of what you've been hearing about for these last 2 days of this convention. Tools for respectfully reaching out to other cultures, to other languages, tools for facilitating communication between a diversity of people. Now, I have enjoyed so much, as I'm sure you have, the networking that we always do at these conventions, the pulling over in corners, talking to dear, respected colleagues about organizational issues and clinical issues, and sometimes just catching up personally. That kind of networking is what continues to draw us back to the convention year after year. But it has struck me from the beginning of my association with AMCAP leadership 10 years ago that there's only about an eighth of us here, 7th to an eighth of us. There's a very small percentage of those who can actually physically come to Salt Lake City to participate in the networking and information that's provided here. It's been a passion of mine and a passion of the board's for 10 years, and I would change that. And we're at the point now where we can truly do that. Now, last spring, some of you may recall that I did a brief presentation showing you what we've done by that point, just updating the old website. I had an experience that I felt to share with you this morning to get this started. As I was driving to AMCAP, the day that I was to give that presentation, to just show you guys what we've done on the site, I was driving in my car in busy downtown traffic, and all of a sudden saw the light was turning red. I had to stop. At that very moment, as I was stopped, just in that 10 seconds or so, at that very moment, the sun came up over the mountain and shone directly on me. It was one of those weird moments. I mean, to have an open spot in a busy, high-rise downtown Salt Lake City where you could even see the mountain was incredible. But what was more significant to me was the scripture it was accompanied by. In my mind's ear, I heard this scripture, "Verily I say unto you all, arise and shine forth, that thy light may be a standard for the nations, and that the gathering together upon the land of Zion and upon her stakes may be for a defense and for a refuge from the storm and from wrath, when it shall be poured out without mixture upon the whole earth." Certainly, even in this past year, since I had that come to my mind, we have seen increasing amounts of those storms, that wrath, those devastations that have been predicted for over 2,000 years that would fall upon the earth. And certainly as counselors, we have seen the kind of devastation and confusion and difficulty and pain that arises for people in the midst of those. In the midst of all that, we, like the early saints, have an important work to do. Emma Smith, in 1842, at the very first Relief Society meeting, had the following thing to say to the sisters: "We are going to do something extraordinary." those words have touched me ever since I read them. And I would like to testify to you, brothers and sisters, that we are in the midst of truly something extraordinary right now. Now, I'd like to share with you in my native language, which is music, a little bit more about that idea, and I hope that you will liken these thoughts to yourself. I wrote this song, which is called Something Extraordinary, in the spirit of trying to capture what Emma must have felt as she was at the beginning of some small, tiny movement that was destined to fill the world. If I could have my living mic stand come up now, you'll be meeting her later.